Hi guys, Blake here today with Lilleys Landing Resort and Marina, Branson, Missouri, beautiful Lake Taneycomo. It is the 12th of April, and I'm going to do the one cast for you today. So we're all the way up at the cable at the dam, and as you can well see, the floodgates are back on again. We got 5 floodgates open at 1 foot apiece, looks like, and 2 units running over there for roughly 11,000 cubic feet per second. And I always can't resist the white jig whenever the floodgates are running, so that's where I'm going to start today. I do have some eggs and scuds rigged up. I've got some jerk baits rigged up to drag, but we are going to start on the trusty white jig. And I'm going to stay spot locked in this corner right here for a second, because I am still waiting for some of these other species to come flowing over the dam and hang out in this little corner pocket. The white jig I'm starting off with today is an 1/8 ounce. And nothing officially on the first cast. I'm just casting all the way in against the bank there. Let's see, today started off sunny, humid, and got up above 80. And this afternoon, the clouds rolled in. We've got another big rain system pouring in here. It's supposed to storm tonight and tomorrow. It's going to cool it off a little bit. I think the high is like 69 for tomorrow. But you can definitely already start to feel the effects of the front moving in. As I work this corner, I start by casting all the way up as far as I can to the underneath side of the cable. And then I start working the jig down the bank here, just trying to catch any of those other species that might be laid up real tight. As that jig swings, you've got to give it more time, because once it gets past you, the water starts pulling on it and causing that jig to sink slower. A few fishing reports from today. Captain Dwayne Doty was out here today and said that they did very well drifting scuds, I believe on the fly rod. And Captain Jeremy Raznick said eggs and scuds for him on the fly rod. And he said that they were catching them really well too. But now that the floodgates are back on again, that scud bite is going to be pretty good. That fish right there actually hit the jig after it had swung almost all the way down past the boat. So there might be something to a little bit of a swinging action today. We might give that a try, slow the boat down as I start drifting. I think it's a trout, but I'm not quite sure yet. Nice healthy rainbow there. We're going to try that one more time. I'm really going to focus on once it gets past me and starts swinging. See if they just like that kind of that tail end of the swinging motion better. The water coming over the top of the dam today ought to be a little bit warmer. Had a couple warm days here. Surface temperature up on Table Rock probably increased a few degrees, so this water mixing in should raise our temperatures a little bit. Something you can do if you're trying to spot lock and swing a jig is once that thing starts getting back there, kind of starting to straighten out, you can let out a little extra line, push it down just a touch deeper, and get a couple more pops while the jig's swinging. I think we're going to go ahead. Actually, I'm going to take one cast off of the other side of the boat here, just to make sure. The water on this side of me is moving a lot faster, so that jig's going to move down real quick and then kind of straighten out real quick. But oh, yep, that worked. So I'll tell you what I was just doing. So like I said, water moving a lot faster. The jig swung straight down there pretty fast. But all I did there was, instead of giving it an upwards pop after it straightened out, I was giving it just a little side to side pop, kind of like a jerk bait. And it's very possible that these fish have seen some shad. It's also possible that just white just might be the choice for the day, because of nice overcast skies. Ooh, that's a pretty fish. A little bigger and a lot more color. Wow, that's a pretty male rainbow. Look. Oh, my cheek flew right back up in his mouth. Look at the colors on that rainbow. Let's see if I can flip hands here. The colors are just absolutely immaculate. Well, I was going to start drifting, but I think we're going to take a couple more casts off of this side of the boat first. Alright, so we're going to try that again. So I'm casting up, give that jig time for the current to push it down, that way it's a little bit deeper by the time it gets down past the boat. And I'm just going to start by only doing that little jerkbait kind of side pop. That'll help keep that jig deeper. There was a fish right there. Yep. It might be very possible that these fish are seeing shad. I don't see any shad in the water, but it doesn't mean they're not down deeper. And I'm not doing a whole lot of reeling either. I'm just kind of just popping that jig as it floats down past the boat. Once I hang it back behind the boat like 30 seconds or so, I'm going to reel it back in and get another swing in there. If these fish are really keyed in right here, like I think they might be, then I'm just going to change the distance that I cast out and kind of hit a few different zones with my swing. Go a little bit shorter that time. Trying to give that thing as much time to sink down as you can. Just all I'm doing is straightening my line a little bit. I talked to a gentleman. He's out here fishing right now. He was the last person I passed on my way up here, and I think we're the only two boats on the water that I know of. And he buys our jig heads and ties his own colors on. And he said that he had caught about a dozen or so real nice sized fish. And he tied, it's on a sculpin head, and it's got mostly white with a little bit of blue. Said he was trying to kind of imitate what the colors of a threadfin shad. Alright, well, this is starting to not work, but I'm going to try one more thing here. I'm going to cast more straight out, not quite as much up, and I'm going to let the bail take some line before I close it. Give that jig some real time to sink down and see if that gets it a little deeper. I let out about an extra 10 feet of line, 12 feet of line there. Alright, nothing there, so we're going to start drifting. I guess I'll start on this side here. And I am still going to kind of slow the boat down a little bit. I kind of want to get a little bit of a swing once that jig starts to sink. And so sometimes when these shad come through, if that's what's going on here, they hit the bottom and they're very kind of discombobulated, and the way they kind of float down through the water and the way they try to swim back to life, they kind of drift and twitch and kind of wherever the current takes them. So that's kind of probably why this swinging method with just the little jerkbait motion was catching a few fish there while I was spot locked. So just trying to imitate that. I think I'm going to turn around and fish the slow water side. I still want to see if I can catch a smallmouth today. Or a really big trout. Maybe a walleye. But sounds like maybe white and blue. I know that there have been times in the past when we've came up here when the floodgates were running and some shad were coming through, that white and blue color works even better than just the straight white. So if you're up here in the next couple days and they're still running these floodgates, you might try white and blue. I'm really kind of just daring this jig to get to the bottom and not giving it a very big jigging motion. Just kind of a twitch. Coming up on the front side of the island here. Water's going to get significantly shallower. I won't have to let it hang quite as long. And I think I'm going to try to slow the boat all the way down and just fish this eddy back here. Ooh, my line jumped real hard right there. Yep. Nope. It was the bottom. Or maybe it wasn't. Oh, that might have been a fish. Alright, we're coming up on the back side of the island. There's a fish. He is a flyer. Just jumped out of the water 5 times. Oh, that's not what I want to do. There's a little rainbow right on the edge of the island. Alright, I'm just going to essentially try to use my foot and hold the boat real slow. I'm going to cast over the top into that eddy water. And I'm even going to hold my line kind of high so it doesn't get sucked into the current. See if there's any fish sitting back here on the edge of this current line, waiting for shad to get sucked in. Yep, there's one. Oh! Got away from me right at the end there. I'm going to keep doing that same thing I was doing earlier as my jig swings back. I'm going to kind of go to that side pop action. Not really reeling it, just popping it every 3 to 5 seconds here until it gets all the way back behind the boat. Okay. I wouldn't say these fish have seen a lot of shad, but I'm thinking they saw some at some point today. That was a fish. I have a feeling that dragging one of those French pearl jerkbaits on the bottom up here at the moment would probably be pretty hot. Oh. I finally found the bottom. Well, not getting quite as many bites the farther away we get from the dam, so I'd say that they saw some shad and they're sitting up there real close, still waiting for them. That's his second time running back up, so I'd say he's only going down a little bit farther than I am right now and running back up for that bite. Turn the boat around and fish out towards the middle, see what happens. Well, I guess we'll do one more cast. We're passing one of my favorite spots over here. Maybe. Okay, well, I'd love to stick around today and keep fishing this bite, but I do have stuff to do. Well, we thank you guys for watching. Like and share us on Facebook, and we'll be back out here to do it for you again tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Well, guys, I had to come back on one last time because I decided to do one more drift, and I finally found a smallmouth. But we thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.